Hey y'all, welcome to Momma Shell's Kitchen. Today we are going to learn how to make my Momaw Geradine's lasagna mixed in with a little bit of my flair. For the recipe, you'll need about 2 pounds of ground beef. You'll brown it, drain it, and then rinse it in cold water. Then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. And then we are going to saute some diced onions and peppers along with our meat. If you use a bag, it's just a general bag of diced onions and peppers. Or if you've got some fresh, it'll be just 1 small onion diced and a medium green pepper diced. We're going to use at least 4 cups of mozzarella cheese. Love cheese. We've got 1 can of tomato sauce or 1 jar. I do not have a preference with that. It's going to be whichever spaghetti sauce you normally use. And then we've got a 24-ounce container of cottage cheese. Then you're going to, of course, have to have a pan and spray your pan. And then we're going to layer your lasagna noodles. So let's get our ground beef cooked up and we'll get started. All right, guys, we've browned our 2 pounds of ground beef. So we're going to make a mess. Throw that in a strainer. And we're going to rinse it off with cold water. This gets rid of the fat, which makes it a little less unhealthy since we add all that cheese to it. Doing what I can to make it less unhealthy. So after we do this and let that water drain back out, which I can hear somebody yelling at me now, not to pour grease down my drain. So we do that. Alright, so after you've got that done, make sure you got most of your water out. You're going to put it back in your pot. I'll tell you what, since we've got the camera sitting here, we'll just do it over here. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. And then we're going to add our onions and pepper mix. And I don't have any ready in the garden, so we are using frozen. And then we are going to saute all of this together, and then we'll get ready to add it to our lasagna pan. Alright guys, so you're going to get your pan. I'm just using like a 13x9 toss away pan. You want to put enough of your spaghetti sauce in the bottom so that your noodles aren't going to stick to the bottom of your pan. You're going to give yourself a layer of noodles, and I like mine with a lot of noodles, so I overlap them until I fill it up. Okay, and then we're going to add our ground beef, Italian seasoning, and peppers and onions. We'll get you a good layer of that in there. Then we're going to add some cottage cheese. We're going to do this, and it's not going to look so pretty, but that's okay. Because when it all squishes together, it'll still taste amazing. So you're going to use about half your cottage cheese in this layer, so just kind of spread it out best you can. If you want, you can always add your cottage cheese to your meat mixture and then dump it into your pan if you wanna. Totally up to you. Okay. Then we're gonna add, make sure that's off, half of our cheese. So you're gonna end up with about 2 cups here, and then 2 cups on the top. And cheese is your preference. If you like to spice it up some, Get you some pepper jack cheese or some Colby Jack cheese. I just prefer mozzarella. Okay, then we're going to do another layer of your jalapenos. Yeah, that's on my brain today. Another layer of your lasagna noodles. Press it down as you go, trying to make sure you've got everything in there covered, so you've got plenty of room for another layer. Alright, then you're going to do the same thing. Use the rest of your meat mixture and repeat until you get to the top layer. Alright guys, after you've done your second layer of meat and cheeses, you're going to take the rest of your pasta sauce, and I like to put it on top, and that way your cheese doesn't burn. Now if you have a thicker pan, you could have done another layer of noodles right under your cheese and sauce. I actually have a huge lasagna pan in there, but we are only feeding 6 people today, so we don't need the huge lasagna pan with all the layers. Alright guys, so you're going to do this, and you're going to bake it at 300 for, I would say, about 2 hours. And if I'm wrong, in 2 hours we'll check and we'll go from there. Alright guys, at 300 degrees for 2 hours, your noodles should be done. If you poke around in the middle, you can actually pull up some of your noodles. And they should pull up, you know, quite easy and tear quite easy. So I am going to add some additional cheese on top. And I'm going to let this sit in the oven, which I usually just turn the oven off and let it sit in there with what heat is available, and let the cheese melt. Now if that does not work, you can always leave your oven on longer and let the cheese melt. I just wouldn't let it get too brown. Well, I mean, if you like that, you can do that too. So cheese is a preference. It's however much you want. And I want it so much that it's yelling, don't. Alright guys, and that's it. That is Momma Shell's version of lasagna. Thank y'all for cooking with Momma Shell, and we'll see you next time.